What's up, everybody, and welcome to Bimp on the Spot. This is our first episode of season 4. So, and unfortunately, we started the live a little while ago, but we had some technical difficulties. But it's all good. We are back and ready to go. I want to remind you guys once again of T-shirts and T Tuesdays, an amazing video. So after this one, go ahead and check that video out. That was another great one, and I wanted to remind you all to like, share, comment, subscribe, follow on whatever platform you are watching this video from. Tonight, we're going to be interviewing Miami Marlins outfielder Lewis Brinson. So without any further ado, let's get it.
This one is down the left field line. Gone! A grand slam for Lewis Brinson.
LB, welcome back, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, everything good? Everything good?
Yeah, everything's good. I'm in my house. I think it was a driving situation.
Yeah.
Little to no service on the highway, so we're good now.
It's all good. It's all good. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate you accepting our invitation. We can't wait to get into this interview, get into the meat of this interview, and we're gonna have a good time. All right.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
All right. So first things first, we know that you're a Florida native. You play for the Miami Marlins, and that is the same area that you're from, the Fort Lauderdale, Miami area. Tell us what it was like for you growing up in SoFlo.
Oh man, it was great. Great weather. During the summer, it rains a lot, but you get used to that. Humidity. I like the humidity personally. It gets a little hot and sweaty, but it's all right. But like I said, man, beaches, beautiful people, beautiful places to hang out. Pretty much growing up on vacation, in a sense. So it was great, man. I got to play sports all year round, didn't have to worry about snow or anything. So
yeah,
it was great.
Yeah, you know, I said it before. We get the sort of the same experience. We ain't as deep as y'all. We in Central Florida, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got as many beaches. Our beaches ain't as famous as what y'all got down there in Miami. Yeah. But we still do it real nice up here. You know, it's the weather's still sweet. You still get a nice little breeze. It ain't too cold, you know what I'm saying? So we still get it pretty nice out here, you know what I'm saying? But, you know.
Man, it gets hot up there, man. It gets very, very humid and hot. Y'all got no breeze.
Yeah. It's a little different. It's a little different. We got a little more. It's a little rough over here.
It's all good. You gotta make a trip down here.
Yeah, definitely. My family was just down there. I gotta get myself down there at some point. You know, it's a shame that I haven't been that way yet. Now your love for baseball. We know that you have a deep love and passion for the game that you've fostered and cultivated for a long period of time. Where did that come from? Where did that start?
So it started at a very young age for me. It started at 4 years old. I don't remember this, but my mom can attest to this. So when I was 4, I was in my high chair one day. She said, I was watching TV. I've always loved watching TV. When I eat, when I do anything, I love having TV on. So I'm watching TV, she said, and baseball was on, and I was quiet and eating my food and focusing. And then she would turn baseball off and turn on one of her shows, and I'd start crying and wouldn't eat my food and all this stuff. Yeah. So she turned back on baseball, and I just sat there and focused again. She was like, okay. So turned 5, 6 years old. She signed me up for T-ball, and I loved it. I love hanging out with the guys. I love playing. I love running around, swinging a bat, hitting a ball. You know, I just fell in love with it at a very, very young age. So I have my mom to thank for that, and, here we are today.
And obviously you're extremely great at what you do. You committed to go to University of Florida, and you wound up going in the first round of the Major League Baseball draft to the Texas Rangers. Tell us what that was like for you. What was that feeling when you sort of realized, okay, I can do this at the professional level. I can be great at this. And what was that point? What was that feeling when you finally got picked and that dream that you had was sort of realized to a point?
Man, that picture brings back so many memories, man. That was a great day. I was cheesing, as you guys can see. Just sign that check. That's what happened. But nah,
got that money in your pocket.
That first round check, that was nice. But no, man. From maybe sophomore year of high school, I started to fill out my body a little bit. Started to, kind of feel into myself. Sophomore year of high school, I played very well. You know, I was I think all-star, all-state, whatever, high school. You know, it was a lot of fun. Sophomore year was great, and then I started getting, you know, letters from colleges, letters from pro scouts coming to this showcase, that showcase. Junior year was even better. Got even more scouts. Got even more colleges at my games and stuff. I started to realize like maybe I can, you know, play professional baseball, but definitely in college. So like junior year comes around, I start playing in more showcases, get my name out there. Then senior year comes around, and you know I go ballistic, and you know all the draft stuff started coming around, and you know it was very, you know, very very real, very fast for me that I could be going, you know, pretty early in the draft. You know, my mom was very adamant about me going to college. You know, before the draft, I committed to University of Florida, like you said, to play for the Gators. I went up there and visited, and it was amazing. I was like, man, if I do go to college, this is gonna be crazy. You know, this is great up here.
Gainesville ain't no joke.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of pride, a lot of fun. Everything was orange and blue, and you know, Gator colors everywhere.
Yeah.
So you know, I was very excited to go there. You know, obviously draft had other plans, God had other plans for me to start my professional career at 18 years old, man. So
hey, that check has something to do with it too.
Absolutely.
That cash flow has something to do with it.
Absolutely, man. That changed your mind quick.
Will you see a couple extra zeros on there, make you think about it.
You see them 2 commas, you're like, wait a minute.
That's life-changing money, you know, especially, you know, coming from Fort Lauderdale to Miami area. That's what you see. You sort of see that lifestyle, you see the cars, you see the beaches and everything like that. And you're like, hey, you know, I want a piece of that. You know, a lot of young men our age, starting out, you know, in football, you know, that's what you think about. You're like, hey man, this is what I can achieve by doing this. And one thing that you mentioned, you know, you started to fill out your body and everything like that. Tell us about that transition, because I was a football player, and I know, you know, there's different levels to strength, and there's different levels to power and explosion the higher up you go, right? You go from high school to college, and from college to the NFL, and college strength is different from NFL strength, and same thing is different from high school to college to the minors to the majors. Tell us about how that transition was. It's bypassing college, bypassing that level, and going straight to the majors as far as physically.
Right. So in high school, I actually weighed 175 pounds when I got drafted. I was 6'3", 175, you know, skinny, long, lanky. You know, I was just wiry. I had quick hands. I was able for me to, you know, hit home runs and do things like that. And have some sort of power.
This ain't no short brother, everybody. He's 6'4". This is 6'4", 6'5". This man, he's pretty big too. So
6'5", 6'3" in high school, but it takes you a while for baseball. Baseball is a very skilled sport. So it's basketball, football, soccer, everything. But baseball, very particular skill. You know, it's a lot of muscle memory. It's a lot of, you know, you have a tool in your hand while you're playing. You know what I'm saying? You have a thing in your hand while you're playing. You know what I'm saying? So you have to control that thing plus your body. So, you know, that adds a lot of variables. So, you know, getting drafted, everybody told me it wasn't gonna be easy. You know, everybody told me it wasn't gonna be, you know, a cakewalk. You know, it's gonna take some time. You're gonna go through some ups. You're gonna go through some downs. Probably more downs than ups, but hopefully more ups and downs. But you know, just trying to be real with me. You know, so getting into pro ball, man. Like I said, I was 178 the first day of pro ball. You know, I was definitely one of the taller guys, but I wasn't one of the biggest guys, like wide guys, power wise. And it took some getting used to, man. Like going from high school pitching to pro ball pitching, you go from the fastest anybody's throwing in high school is 84.
Yeah, you're looking at 80s,
84 maybe the highest. That you're like, dang, this guy's throwing gas.
Yeah,
and then you go to pro ball, and that's everybody's like off speed pitch. Like everybody's fastball is like 94, 98.
And the CC Sabathias and
prime. Everybody's throwing hard. Everybody's throwing really hard. You know, you got to get used to it. It takes some time to get used to. Like I said, man, God-given ability. I was able to hit it quick, hit the ground running. Went out to Arizona, played rookie ball, had a pretty good year in rookie ball. And then next year went to low A, struggled in low A, had a lot of home runs, but a lot of strikeouts. That was part of it. You know, I had downs, had some downs. I had to get used to pro ball, man. It's a lot physically on you because in high school, I think I played 25 games. My first year of full season ball, I played 139 games. So that's a lot on your body to try to get used to. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is your job now. This is all you're doing. You got to take care of your body all year so you can make it all the way to September. So that was probably the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, and that's another thing that people, you know, don't take into account as an athlete. You know, Black Heritage Enterprise Marketplace promotes Black business, right? And as an athlete, you are your business. Your body is your business, right? That's what's making you your money, right? So,
absolutely.
You know, in the volume, right? The reps that it goes up, right? In high school, the workload isn't very much. You have a very limited amount of games. The practices aren't as tough, but then you get to college and those reps go through the roof. You have to get more reps. Then you have to hit the practices and the weight room. And then you have the games that are more in it, but you skipped over that area and go straight to the majors, where you know it's repetition in the games. There's a ton of games in a season, and you have to have your body prepared to do that year in, year out, and taking care of yourself in the off season. It takes a certain mentality to be able to do that.
Absolutely, man. It takes a lot of mental toughness. Obviously, your body needs to be in shape and durable, but it takes a lot of mental toughness, man. Those days, like, you know, you're hanging. Your body's your legs are heavy. Your arm hurts, you know, you got a headache, your feet hurt, and mentally you just want to man, today don't even matter, whatever. Like, mentally you got to tell yourself, nah, this game matters just as much as the last one. Like, you got to get up and try to muster 4 good at bats, 5 good at bats together and play good defense in order to show the team that you could, you know, withstand it mentally and physically so they can move you up. So you move up through the system, because when you get up through the system, closer you get to big leagues, the harder it gets. More games you play, stuff like that. So I mean, you gotta mentally grind through it. That's why everybody calls it the grind, because you're literally you're like, you know, you go from spring training to April, you're excited. April to May, you're like, all right, man, got the first month in, let's go. Got 2, you know, got another month, got May coming up, May to June. You're like, all right, cool, you know, I'm still feeling good. June to July. June to July, All-Star break. Everybody's looking at that All-Star break, that 4 days off. You're like, that's getting close. You know, then All-Star break, you're good. You know, you go July to August. You're like, all right, here we go. You know, dog days of summer is hot. And August, September, man, that's 5 months.
Yeah.
5 months of playing. We get off days, but, you know, it's 5 months every day, you know, you're going at it. So you got to make sure mentally and physically that your body is ready for that.
Exactly. And you know, it's and that's one thing that I noticed, because like I said, I was a football player first, right? And and mentally it's easier for you get beat on a route or you get beat on a play. It's easier to get yourself checked back into it. And one thing that I noticed when I made the transition to baseball is it's much tougher mentally when you have a bad at bat, right? When you strike out, it's way more taxing on your mindset, right? It's easy to get discouraged, right? You miss a ground ball or you miss a pop or something like that, right? And it's more taxing mentally, and it's harder to recover from. So having to do that for over 100 games, right? Game in, game out, and in a series where you're seeing the same team over and over again, it's a lot more of a mental grind than many people give baseball players credit for.
Right. I mean, in any sport, you have to make an adjustment fast. That's what keeps you in the game. That's what keeps you among the great ones and keeping your job. But in baseball, it's a little different because of, I think, my personal opinion, I think it's more difficult because, one, is a skill sport. And your mind can take over your body very easy in this game. If one little thing is off, even if you're going good, one little thing is off, you might go 0 for 4, but you could feel good. But like one little incy-bitty thing is off, and that could cause you to miss it, to ground it, to pop it up, you know, to just miss a home run. You know what I'm saying? But one little thing is off. Everything in baseball, everything has to be so perfect, and we're constantly trying to, chase that perfection. And it's so hard to do day in and day out. You're trying to hit a ball coming at you 95 miles an hour, moving all kind of which ways with a round bat. Like, you ain't hit it with a big tree trunk. You hit it with a round little bat.
It ain't cricket. It ain't cricket.
Right. And it's coming at you quick. And these guys have scouting reports and they know where your weaknesses are and where you can't hit and all this stuff. So they're trying to get you out. So it's tough, man. It's very, very tough.
Part, right? And a lot of people don't take that into account, how difficult it is, because your opponent knows your weaknesses. They know what they know what you don't do well. They know what you don't react well to. They know what you don't like to hear. The catchers know what you don't like to hear. They know what to say to you, right? So you have all of these obstacles. And like you said, the smallest thing mentally can take you off your game. Feel great physically. You hit everything in batting practice for the game. And it's like one thing, like the tiniest bit being off. Everything is it's almost like everything has to work like in perfect harmony, right?
Right. I mean, you're absolutely right. You got to make sure that everything, muscle memory wise, is where you want it. Because in the game, it's hard to control. After you hit the ball, it's hard to control where the ball goes, obviously. So in baseball, you just need to make sure that you're the most prepared you can be. That's what I take pride in now. I try to make sure I'm the most prepared I could be for that game and just go out there and just play. You know what I'm saying? Like, go out there and trust your work, trust your batting practice, trust your ground balls, fly balls, whatever you did. Trust the video you saw on the pitcher or the hitter or whatever position you play, and just go out there. Because if you try to think and play at the same time, it doesn't work.
It don't work. The game is too fast. It happens too fast. It happens way too fast. When you're at bat, you think too much, and the ball's already in the glove, right?
Yeah. And they're already throwing the ball back to the pitcher. The catcher's already throwing it back to the pitcher. Wait, you're like, wait a minute. Well, that's why I try to explain to people, like, hey, listen, you want to know how hard it is to hit a baseball? All right, do me a favor, blink real quick, and blink. Like, you just missed the fastball. They're like, what? I'm like, yep. That's how much time I have to decide whether to swing up, down, in, out. That's how much time you have. And they're like, man,
that reaction time.
You put it like that, it seems impossible. I'm like, honestly, I'm not bragging, but it is. What we're doing is sort of impossible to do on a day in and day out and be good at it. You know what I'm saying? You might get lucky every now and then, but to be good at it, like, people don't give hitting a baseball enough credit, for sure.
It's definitely a gift. I mean, there's some people who aren't particularly great at bat, but they can throw a hell of a ball, and those are pitchers most of the time.
Exactly.
And sometimes you have players who are great defensively, but they need a DH to stand in their spot because they can't exactly. Hitting is definitely something that you're sort of born with, because like you say, you have a 96, anywhere from a 90 to 100 mile per hour fastball, and we're seeing more pitchers come into the league that can throw over 100, right? And you're seeing these balls coming. You have to decide how you want to hit it, or even if you want to hit it, right? So that's the wildest part about what it is that y'all do. Now, your time with the Milwaukee Brewers, tell us about that.
So Brewers was great, man. I only had it was short time. It was a year and a half. A year and a month to be honest. Got traded from the Texas Rangers to Milwaukee in 2016. And then played the last month in AAA with them in Colorado Springs. And the next year went back to Colorado Springs, made my debut June 11th, 2017 in Arizona. Made my debut, went down again, came back up, got hurt, was done for the rest of the year. And then 2008, the offseason going into 2018 is when I got traded to the Marlins. So I was only with the Brewers for really a year.
Yeah, and that was a wild time. I remember I didn't hear your name quite as much as I did until I heard you when you went to the Marlins, because at that time I was just starting to get into baseball, and I was following the Marlins at that time. That was my favorite team. So so I heard your name on and off for a while. I'm like, yeah, and then I would hear you. So during that time period, now, that was sort of when we started to see a shift in the way the game of baseball is played. Like, with basketball, there was a shift when Steph Curry came into the league. It started to become more high volume splash play, 3-point shots. Same thing that we're seeing now with the evolution of football, where you're seeing Patrick Mahomes making all these big throws and these big plays like down the field. And then we started seeing guys like Giancarlo Stanton, right, when he was with the Miami Marlins in the home run derbies. And you're seeing guys like Aaron Judge who are just hitting these home runs, where now we're seeing sort of like a splash play type Major League Baseball, right? And you're seeing these stacked batting lineups, like what we're looking at in the Los Angeles Dodgers, and what we see when we saw the team up between Giancarlo Stanton and the Aaron Judge. With the way that the way viewers change, right? The way people view baseball and the way people watch baseball changing. Does that affect your game plan when you go into a game?
Not really. I mean, you play your game. That's how you succeed in my eyes. You do what got you there. With Tatis and Acuna and Vlad Guerrero Jr. and all these other guys that are young and exciting or crazy, like they grew up playing like that. That's what got them there. So they're gonna play like that. With Judge and Stanton, they're power guys, big power guys. You know what I'm saying? So like they're not gonna start stealing bags and dotting all over the place. That's not their game. So I think, you stay in the game by the way you got there. Obviously, you have to make adjustments. You have to get better. You have to, evolve as a player. But, ultimately, you don't want to be another player. You know what I'm saying? That's what got them there. That's what makes them successful. You try to be like them, that might not work out for you very, very much. So I definitely take pride in being myself. Playing against these exciting guys, it might adjust my defensively or my defensive arrangement. I might need to be more careful with the ball because they'll take an extra base because they're very aggressive. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the way I play the game, my style of play doesn't really change, unless the game dictates it, like a game situation or something. But the way I play the game, the way I jog on and off the field, the way I go about my business doesn't really change.
And in this area of splash play, where people love to see the home runs, they love to see the 3-pointers, they love to see the 50-yard touchdown passes, right? In all of this, one thing that's sort of fallen to the back burner in a lot of people's minds is defense, right? Defensive side of the ball of every sport has really suffered because of the firepower that we're seeing on offense and the excitement and the splash plays and the explosions on the offensive end. But you take a lot of pride in the defensive end and what you do in the outfield. Tell us about where that came from.
Definitely. So as black men, we are very athletic. Yeah. And we don't like. We all have, I think, as black outfielders, we all have that mentality of, nothing's going to drop, you know what I'm saying? Like that wide receiver, cornerback mentality of, I'm out here for a reason. I'm athletic enough. I'm fast enough. Because let's be real, we're usually the fastest guys on the field. Wherever we're at, we're usually the fastest guys on the field. So, we just naturally, I think, take pride in playing defense and going to get balls and making good plays and just showing off, to be honest with you. I think that's where it comes from. I've always been good at defense. I've always had a good arm. It's something that's been a strength for me. So it's definitely been, very confident from the beginning. When I got drafted, obviously balls hit a little harder. The higher you go up, so your reaction time needs to be a little quicker. Your footwork needs to be a little bit better. But all in all, I mean, you just let your instincts take over.
And it really is sort of a pride thing, because part of the primary reason why I chose to play safety is because I wanted to lock people up. I wanted the whole backfield, right?
Exactly.
That's the mindset that you have. It's like, if I'm playing corner, I'm stuck to this one side. I really want to be able to take over this whole thing, right? And that's how I got to play in the outfield when I first started playing baseball. I was playing center field. So I was like, dang, I can see everything from here. I can get lateral. I can really go and get anything I want from back here, right? And that was sort of the best feeling of, it's like, man, I can go and get anything. You feel in control of the game.
That's where we usually are. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at any team Usually if the center fielder, isn't Spanish or white, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like there's a couple instances where it's a white center fielder, Spanish center fielder. I've seen some white kids that have blew me out the water.
Yeah.
So don't take it into like,
Yeah.
only black people are
They
athletic.
can move.
I've seen some that yes,
They can move.
I've seen some white kids. I've seen some Latino guys that can move.
And you seen some
And they're
big
athletic.
guys too, because
Yes, they can
Aaron,
move.
Aaron
They can
Judge
move.
can move.
Yes, for how big he is, yes, he can. But he played football. Let's not
Yeah.
forget that. Most of these guys
Yeah.
have played other sports. So in a sense, you know what I'm saying, they're just athletic. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It just even certain guys, coming out of certain areas, you think, oh, they only play football. Oh, they only play basketball. A lot of these guys played 3 sports in high school. But if you usually see a black dude on the field, he's usually at shortstop or center field. You know what I'm saying? That's just it is just facts. It is just facts.
Now, going home, this was probably for me, and watching your journey and seeing how far you've come, the most exciting part, even knowing at this point, just going back and reading your story, it's like an autobiography. It's like, it's the perfect coming home moment where it's like, there is, in a sense, it's sort of a thing of adversity. You would think that it's some form of adversity being traded from the Bruins after really just getting there, right? And being sent to Miami, but you're being sent home. Tell us what that felt like for you. When you're finding out, what was the emotions going through your mind? Okay, I just got traded, but I just got traded home.
Yeah. So initially, I was actually on my way to Brewers Fan Fest, like a beginning of the season, get the fans hyped for the season type thing.
Yeah.
So like I said, I was originally like on the flight about to go to Milwaukee for this Fan Fest. And there was trade rumors going around. My agent was telling me, "Hey, listen, man, your name's bouncing around. I'm surprised something happens. I don't know where. I don't know for sure, but just don't be surprised." I'm like, "All right, cool." So, I already got traded once. It's on the back burner now. So I get a call from the GM of the Brewers, like, "Hey, Lou," and I'm like, "All right, man, where am I going?" And he's like, well, good news is we traded you to Miami. Well, bad news is we traded you. Good news is you're going to Miami. We traded you for Christian Yelich. I was like, oh, man, I'm going home? Oh, man, I get to live at the house? So initially, like, I was like, all right, let's do it. Like, I was hyped. I was ready to go. So, obviously the news broke and my phone was, almost exploded. My phone was blowing up. My mom, uncles, everybody that lived down here, my friends, like, yo, is this true? Is this true? So my phone was blowing. I was getting interviewed left and right. It was an exciting time, man. It was a dream come true. To be honest with you, dream come true.
I mean, and you always had the dream of playing for the Miami Marlins. What was, when you were younger, the Florida Marlins?
Right.
So being able to have your dream fully realized, right? That's not something that a lot of athletes get to do. You have the dream of going to, for example, for me, my dream was to go to the NFL and play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? But some people, you get drafted somewhere else and you never really get to go back and fully realize that dream that you had as a kid. But you get to go home and play for the team that you dreamed of playing for, that you always wanted to play for. It's really the picture perfect story. But the great part is that story hasn't even come to an end yet. You are having one of the best seasons of your career, right? And I wasn't able to watch your game yesterday because I had a couple of business meetings that I had to take care of. But when I got back, I came back and I spoke to my dad. I was like, "You saw the game that he had 2 home runs before I had back?" He was like, "Yeah, man, I was following. He had a huge game." I was like, "Yeah, like he going off this year, man." Tell us what changes you made and adjustments really going into the season, and what you felt going into the season that's having you humming and clicking at the perfect time in the season.
So where do I start? So definitely, getting smacked around my first 2 years in big leagues, definitely was motivation. 2018 was my first full season. I didn't do great. 2019, second full season, got sent down to the minors. Just couldn't figure it out, man. I just was pressing. I was letting it snowball, and things happen. So I go down to minors. I do well. I come back up in 19, and I still struggle. So I'm on the flight back to Miami after the season. We leave in Philly, and I'm like, man, I'm looking out the window. I'm like, man, I gotta change something. I gotta commit to something because what I'm doing right now isn't working. I'm gonna be out the game soon. If I can't get it together. But not to put pressure on myself, just to challenge myself more. Like, all right, how much better do you want to get? Like, how committed do you want to be to this? Because we could be as committed as you want to. So I made a choice. Either A, try to keep doing the same thing, just try to let it come out on its own, or B, we really seek some greatness, underneath the rug. So I chose B. So I started meditating. I started doing yoga. I reached out to some other big leaguers. I asked questions. Where do you guys hit? What do you guys think? What do you guys look for? All this other stuff. And really, the biggest thing for me was honestly meditation. So I started meditating the off season going into 2020. I started with 5 minutes and went to 8 minutes. Now I'm into 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes every morning. I can't leave my house without meditating. So with the meditation, it just helps me just turn the page quicker. It helps me not care about what people think, not care about what people have to say, just to literally go in my own lane and what I'm saying, like, just go my own way and stop listening to everybody, stop trying to be like everybody else and all this other stuff. Just go in my own lane, do what I need to do for me. So it helped me with that. I fixed up my swing, learned how to study pitchers. I learned how to, really, really study the game and make sure I was on point when I got out there. And 2020 was obviously it was a shortened season, but it was a stepping stone for me, just from a confidence standpoint. I was able to do what I wanted up there and do and hit what I wanted, and I didn't miss my pitches and get discouraged and just get down on myself like I used to. There's a lot of pressure at home. You're playing for the Miami Marlins, their hometown team, your hometown boy. They're putting the face of the franchise tag on you already. You haven't even played a game yet, and it's like, dang, man, I really got to live up to this. So I put too much pressure on myself, and I just had to sit back and take a deep breath and like, listen, you can't please everybody. Please you first, and then worry about everybody else, or don't even worry about everybody else. So I did that. I made sure myself was good, my mental health was good. Obviously, my physical. I've never had a problem physically working hard. I've never had that problem. But mentally working hard, I've always had a problem. Like, man, I don't want to meditate. That's for crazy people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's for unstable people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not unstable. I just need to fix some things. You know what I'm saying? You got to humble yourself. You got to take the pride out the door. Like, listen, sit down and close your eyes for 10 minutes and try not to think about all the other crap that you be thinking about. Just try to meditate and be with your own thoughts and just breathe, man, for a second. So I did that. 2020 was a better year for me, and then this year I just took it to the next level. I was like, listen, I'm gonna just outwork everybody. It's plain and simple. Like, I've come too far, I've dreamed too big to let this just slide. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to turn it up. So I did. I turned it up this off season with the meditating, with the yoga, with the doing extra stuff, with the doing extra stuff after I was done and tired from workouts. Like, nah, man, let's look at some video. Like, just talking to yourself like, nah, man, this is what you committed to. Let's go. Like, honestly, that's how it was. So that's what I did. And, this year has, I've been through a lot this year. There's a lot of stuff I don't have time to explain, but it's just been a lot of stuff that I've had to just move out the way. Just boulders I've had to move out the way because I've worked too hard, man, to give up. And then now, I'm having an opportunity to start every day and play every day, and I'm taking advantage of it. So it's a testament to that. And, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, man. It feels good.
And that's what it takes. It's a very underrated aspect of, mental health and everything like that. Being in front of everybody and everybody seeing you and everybody having something to say. And a lot of people don't understand that as an athlete, everyone's trying to get in your head, right? Everybody's trying to get you to understand something. Everybody wants you to hear something. Everybody wants to try to figure out why you're having trouble with this or why you're doing so well with that. So everybody wants to get in your head. And the main thing that you have to do is get in your own head. right?
Mm.
Get in your own
Get in
head.
your own head. Stop letting
Everything
everybody
else.
else get in your head first.
Yeah, get in your own head, organize what's in there. Figure out how to compartmentalize, turn certain things off, turn certain things on at certain times. You have to get in your own head, and that takes time. Like, and a lot of people don't realize that they do it. When you lay down to go to sleep, you're going back through your scenario in your day. That's a form of taking the time to meditate. Just take the time to be intentional about your day and think, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is my plan, and I'm not going to let anybody come in and get in the way of the plan that I'm setting right now, right?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
And we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back for the second half of this interview. All right, everybody, we are back to our interview with Lewis Brinson. All right, so I want to remind you all to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and we are live right now. So make sure that you like, comment, share, subscribe. We are interviewing Mr. Lewis Brinson, Miami Marlins outfielder. All right, so let's get right back into it. Okay,
had to change my shirt up. Sorry.
Right, so you gotta get swaggy. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You gotta be clean, gotta be fresh and clean. That's the whole mantra, right? So
I got dinner with my girl, so I gotta look good.
Yes, sir. So you described the one of the tough points in your career. What would you say was one of the lowest parts, the lowest moments in your career?
Lowest part. I had two. I had one in the minor leagues, one in the big leagues. So, one in the minor leagues, my first full season, actually, I was playing in Delmarva, Maryland. Delmarva, is it Maryland or Delaware? I think it's Maryland. So I was playing there, and that's where my dad is from. So my dad's side of the family lives close to there. So it's my grandmother. So she got to see me play. It's my first time she's ever seen me play baseball. And I had struck out 5 times. And I was struggling at that point in the season. And I was striking out 3 times a game. It was bad. It was very bad. So after the game, man, I called my mom. I was like, "Ma, I don't know if I could do this. I want to go to Florida. Like, I don't know if I could do this. This is killing me." And then meanwhile, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Like, we're on a highway. We're staying at a Holiday Inn Express in the middle of the highway. Across the street, there's a Denny's and a gas station, and that's it. Just interstate, cornfields and forests, and these 3 establishments. So I was done with it. I was done. I was like, man, I don't know if I could do this, man. This is rough. I don't know if I could do this. So anyway, that was a low point. I almost quit. A lot of people don't know that. I almost gave it up, but came back and got through it, and here we are today. And then big league career, it was, I think it was just the end of that game in 2019, the last game of the season. I hurt my foot, so I missed the last two games of the season. I was struggling, and it just. I was sitting on the training table when they told me, "Hey, man, just your season's over. Probably, you got 2 games left. We don't want to hurt this." I'm sitting there. I told him, "Give me a second." I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, "Man, like, what is going on? Like, I've never had these problems in the minors. Like, I know it's the big leagues, but like, I just feel like I don't belong." You know what I'm saying? That was a low point, man. I had to get myself together, and like I said, got on the flight and just kind of kicked myself in the ass a little bit. It was like, "Hey, man, like." We dream too big, we work too hard, like for you to just give up on us like that. So like get it together, whatever you need to do, and let's and then I gave myself the ultimatums, like, listen, man, you got 2 choices. I gave myself that and pulled myself out the mud again. So you just got to keep pulling yourself out the mud, bro. It'll turn around if you want it bad enough. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
And that's what it takes, like, especially when you're playing a sport like baseball. Like you said, it's when you're out of rhythm in baseball, you're out of rhythm, right? And it takes, you have to get yourself right mentally and physically. You have to get those two to align the right way, and it's tough to dig yourself out of a rut like that. And the way that you're playing now, and the way that you've hit your stride, it paid off. It paid off for you to stick to it and keep putting in that work, right?
Absolutely.
Now, I don't want to keep you too long. I know you got some plans, so we're gonna go ahead and close. Final questions: what business ventures do you have on the horizon? What do you have coming?
What do I have coming? I can't tell you that, man. I'm just playing. I'll give you a little something.
I'll give you a little something.
I'll give you a little something. So I don't know if everybody is seen my Instagram or like followed me over the off season. I've gotten into fashion. So I have my stylist, Sandra. She has been helping me with connecting with different fashion designers and people in fashion that I had no idea existed. And it's something I've always been interested in, but again, meditation has helped me to wear what I want, be who I want to be yourself. Like if I could wear a shirt that says "Be you" for the rest of my life, I would do it every day. And not get paid a dime. Just to tell people, like, it's okay to be you, dress how you want, look how you want, obviously say, in the guidelines, but, say what you want, but not too much because it might get you hurt. But, just be you. So I ventured out. I was like, listen, man, I want to look good. Like, I know how to look good, but I don't know how to look like how I want to look. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know how to put things together, but I just wanted a little help and, go down the avenue. So, I met with some designers this off season. Carlos Campos, shout out to him in New York. He made me some jumpsuits. And I'm trying to see, how this year works out. Maybe come out with a little jumpsuit line, little, what I'm saying, little something like that. So, we'll see about that. But it's something that I've taken an interest in. I've taken a liking to. I like looking good. People go to the stadium and see me after games. I'm wearing, not always crazy stuff, but every now and then I put on some crazy stuff, and my teammates are like, "Bro, what are you wearing?" I'm like, "Man, don't worry about it. I'll get you a pair if you want some." But yeah, I mean, it just goes back to being you, man. Dress how you want to dress, look how you want to look, and do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't let anybody kind of stir you in the wrong direction, their direction. If you want to wear something, wear it. Own it. Like if you know, even if everybody is like looking at you funny, who cares, man? Just wear it, own it, and enjoy yourself.
Hey, I'm definitely gonna be there to support when it drops. I'm gonna have to get me some. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would have to say that I got some style myself. I kind of be snapping. I don't know if you've seen my Instagram, but I kind of be popping out.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
I've checked up. Yeah, a little bit.
It's fashion on
I
the
budget.
I give you
some pointers, but no, we good. No, you know what you're doing. You're good.
Hey man, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time out to come and do this interview. We know you're busy, so we're gonna go ahead and close it out here. But when you do drop that line, definitely I'm going to be contacting you about coming on and promoting it on the show. Definitely.
Oh, okay. I see
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, we got to
Okay.
make that happen.
All
Yeah.
right. No,
Yeah,
bet, for sure, for sure.
definitely. And we appreciate you coming on, and definitely the viewers. Thank you for watching. We're gonna have more viewers in the future. So those who come on, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Right. Today we interview Miami Marlins outfielder Lewis Brinson. Do you have any closing comments you'd like to make?
No, man. Thank you for having me, Tad. Appreciate it. Thank you for putting this together, man. Get the word out. And, one thing I have to say, man, everybody that's watching, everybody that will watch in the past, man, be you. Don't let nobody tell you you can't do something or you that looks weird or you look with, man, who cares? Block out other noise, be who you want to be, and go for what you want to go for. It'll happen for you.
Hey, what better closing comments than that there? Hey, appreciate y'all watching. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you tune in next week where we're going to be interviewing Compass's own Eric Dungy, the official luxury home realtor of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Make sure y'all show back up next week, Thursday, 6:30. All right, y'all have a good evening.